What's up, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Cody Campbell with High Ground Gaming. Today we are unboxing, building, and reviewing the Noblechairs Epic TX Anthracite Fabric Gaming Chair. I'm going to start by walking you through the specs on this guy, then I'll open it up and I'll build it right in front of you. From there we'll go to the review portion where I'll talk about my thoughts after I've used it for a while, and then we'll go to High Ground Gaming's final score. Stick around. So Noblechairs TX line comes in three different styles. There's the Epic, the Icon, and the Hero. The one that they sent us was the Epic, which is the more traditional gaming chair design. It's got wings on the side, it's got cutouts, it's got that full race car style. The entire TX line is supposed to come with a breathable anthracite fabric, which according to Noblechairs is very easy to keep clean. They also come with a fleece backing, which is supposed to increase durability and further increase comfort. On top of that, they all come with a velour head and lumbar pillow set. The Epic TX in particular is supposed to come with a 90 to 135 degree range of incline and 40 armrests, and it's designed to hold users up to 265 pounds. Now, the other two can go up to 330 pounds, so it seems like this is the smaller of the three chairs. With all that out of the way though, let's flip this over and open it up. All right, let's see what we've got in here. It actually says on the front, do not open with sharp objects, but I'm gonna go ahead and be a rebel. We'll just do the sides and get each end started. Then we can just pop it open like that. All right, ooh, this is a nice fabric. It's much more quality than I was actually expecting. This is actually, I think, the highest quality fabric I've seen on an office chair, period, let alone a gaming chair. Got the cutouts here. The cushioning feels good too. This is sturdy. So here's the pillow. Not as nice as the rest of the fabric. It's not bad, it's fine. All right, let's get into the rest of it. All right, I went ahead and laid everything out so you could get a good look at all the different components that come with this. We've got instructions here, back, seat. All in all, this is actually a minimal number of parts, so I feel like assembly is gonna be pretty easy on this. But let's get to building it. All right, we're gonna start by attaching the base to the bottom of the chair. There's just these 4 bolts here. I think they gave us 5 though, so a lot of times they'll give you an extra one just in case you lose one. And then they've given us this hex wrench on one side and Phillips screwdriver on the other tool. It looks like this and then 3 other screws are really all there is in terms of tooled assembly, so this should go pretty quick. I also want to mention that they actually talked about the casters that they use and how they're actually lined with something that makes them good both for carpeted and hardwood floors. I can tell just by feeling this that there's a grippiness to it that feels like it's not going to scuff up hardwood too bad. It's a lot better than just your typical plastic caster, and you could feel that right away. There's a little sticker here that says, "Caution, will spring forward." Of course, I didn't see that until after I pulled the lever. All right, so all in all, this was a pretty easy build. Everything came together fairly quickly. I only had a couple of issues. First of all, it's kind of weird. Putting these caps on the side was just one screw. That's what those little screws were for, but didn't seem to be mentioned in the instructions. It's pretty simple to do. It wasn't that hard to figure out. It was just odd that it wasn't noted in there anywhere, or at least I didn't find it. Maybe it was and I missed it. Overall, I'm pretty impressed with the build quality of this thing though, so I'm gonna go ahead and throw it in my office, use it for a little bit, test out some games, and we'll be right back with the review section. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks. Time for our review on the Noblechairs Epic TX Anthracite Fabric Gaming Chair. But before we get into that, please leave a like and subscribe. All right, let's start off by talking about the comfort and the build quality of it. I'm gonna start by talking about the anthracite gray fabric. This is really, really soft. It is probably the softest fabric upholstery I've ever felt. I mean, aside from like velour and velvet and stuff like that, it's definitely the softest gaming chair fabric I've ever felt. It is really comfortable to the touch, and I think it looks really nice. It's got a really clean aesthetic that doesn't look super gamery, but it does look super classy and nice. It would almost fit in an office setting if it weren't for the cutouts and stuff like that, but I think it looks really cool. It's also super breathable. I spend about 8 hours a day in this chair, and I've never really had much issue with too much heat buildup or moisture or sweat or anything like that. In terms of it being easy to keep clean, it has been so far in my experience. Like I said, I've been using it for about 2 weeks, so hairs, crumbs, stuff like that come off of it pretty easily. I just use a lint roller, but you could also use a vacuum or something like that, and the cleanup is quick and easy. I haven't spilled like a milkshake on it or anything like that. I imagine that would be much harder to clean out of the fibers, but that's going to be the case with any fabric. The cushioning inside the chair is firm but not too hard, which is what you want. It's not the softest thing in the world, but sometimes soft isn't really what you want, because what happens with really, really soft chairs a lot of the time is they're really comfortable at first, but then after you've been sitting in them for a couple hours, you sort of sink through the cushioning and then you're really just sitting on the hard plastic base at the bottom. This one gives you a good amount of support while also being cushy enough that it doesn't hurt to sit on. The pillows are good quality, if a little bit generic. They're just memory foam coated in velour, and they've just got the Noblechairs branding on them. They're black so that they can sort of match with any of Noblechairs' different aesthetics, but they're cushy, they're comfy, and they give you the support that you want in your lower back and neck. The steel frame also gives it a really well-balanced center of gravity. A steel frame is important for a couple reasons. First of all, you don't want to have to worry about it bending. If you're reclining and then sitting upright, stuff like that, you don't want to worry about your chair ever going off kilter. The other reason it's really important is if you're reclining, you want to make sure that the chair is able to support your weight as it is unevenly distributed. The only real downside that I've experienced with this chair in terms of build quality is the armrests. They are wiggly. They are not super secure or rigid in their station, and I find that a little bit irritating. It is really common with 4-directional armrests for them not to be 100% secure. I have felt ones that are a little bit more secure than this. I felt ones that were about the same as this. It's really just a question of whether or not that'll bother you as a consumer. But now let's talk about adjustability. As long as we're talking about the 4D armrests, let's start there. They are adjustable in 4 different directions. They can go down and back up, which in my opinion is the most important one and the only one I really care about. They can go backward and forward. They can go out and in, and then they can rotate. They don't rotate quite 45 degrees. I think it's somewhere around 30 degrees at a guess. But there are 3 different directions. You can go left, center, or right with either of them. When you do that, they sort of lock into place, but they aren't the most secure in those places. There have been a lot of times where I was kind of sitting like this and they snapped out, or I was leaning back like this and they snapped in. It sort of happens if you ever lean on the edges of either the front or the back of the armrest. It's not something that really comes up when you're in game. You don't have to worry about one of these slipping on you so much, but it is something that might happen, and if that's something you think will irritate you, then maybe this isn't the chair for you. Then again, maybe all that adjustability is something really important to you, and that will influence your decision in a positive way. It's really up to you. The seating height ranges from 19.3 inches to 23.2 inches. I would say that for me, I'm 6 feet tall. The lowest setting is just maybe half an inch to an inch too short for me. I like it just a little bit higher than that. And the max setting puts me all the way up on my tippy toes. So somebody my height or taller is probably gonna love this chair. Somebody looking for a shorter gaming chair, this might not be the one for you. Now on the website, it says that the range of incline is 90 to 135 degrees, but it definitely goes way further forward than that. Now that isn't really a pro or a con, because honestly, nobody's really gonna use that full forward incline, but I will say that the ability to go a little bit more than 90 degrees forward is somewhat beneficial. There's a lot of times where you're either at your mouse and keyboard for gaming or for work or for school or something like that, and you want to have a upright posture, but you have to lean forward a little bit. If it's just 90 degrees, you're gonna have your lower back pressed in and your upper back's gonna hunch forward over the mouse and keyboard. If you can come a little bit more forward, it's gonna sort of force you into an upright position, which will help you maintain good posture while you're working. The last adjustability feature is a built-in rocking lever on the left side, and that allows you to sort of rock back and forth in the gaming chair. This is pretty cool for when you're watching a video or you're gaming with a controller or something like that and you want to just be able to chill back and hang out, something like that. It's pretty fun. It doesn't work super well when the chair is in full recline, because what happens is you hit the lever and it just rocks back and you have to sort of do sit-ups in order to get it to rock forward at all. It doesn't really work, but it is pretty nice when you're in an upright position. That's about it for features though. Let's get down to the verdict. So the Noblechairs Epic TX MSRP's at $419.99. That is definitely on the expensive side for a gaming chair, but it is considered a premium option, and the features that it offers are definitely on the premium side of the spectrum. So that price sort of makes sense. There isn't a lot of competition right at that low $400 range. There's a couple things that I found on Amazon. There was a HyperX chair and a Razer chair, but really with those, you're paying more for the brand and not so much for the build. In that respect, the Noblechairs Epic TX sort of blows that competition out of the water. The real competition comes in lower and higher price points. There's the Anthracite T Compact, which is about $20 cheaper than this. It has fabric, it has 4D armrests, and Anthracite has a pretty good reputation for comfortable gaming chairs. We reviewed their Dark Demon gaming chair, and we liked that one quite a bit. Then on the other side of the spectrum is the Secret Lab Titan Evo. Now that chair costs about $100 more than this one, but it has a few extra features. So this is sort of a middle ground of the high end. It's high-end quality at a high-end price. So with that in mind, we decided to give it a 4.1 out of 5. The only real places it got docked points is the fact that it's not a super big bargain. It's priced more or less appropriately for where it should be. And just the wiggliness of the arms, that just seems like something that's kind of frustrating when you're paying $420 for a chair. Other than that, we really loved it, and we think that somebody who has a $420 budget really probably couldn't do better than this chair. So why don't you go ahead and drop down into the comments, let us know what you think. Do you think $420 is just too expensive for a gaming chair, or do you think the quality merits the price? While you're at it, go ahead and leave a like and subscribe. We've got lots of new content coming real soon. We've actually got more gaming chair reviews coming real soon, so if you're in the market for a gaming chair, please do that. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Happy gaming.